All right, we are back for another Friday financial wrap up with Mr. Michael Zuber. How are you, Michael?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you for doing this.
I love it. I love it. So good. So this is for March the 8th, 2024. We are actually recording this on Thursday. One of the things is there's a big jobs report. We're going to talk about jobs, a lot of stuff. Stay to the very end too, because Michael has some really a big, cool project he's working on in Las Vegas. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the jobs numbers. Let's talk about the reports that have happened so far, and then also kind of anticipation for what's going to
Yeah.
happen tomorrow.
Yeah. So some weeks it's inflation week, some weeks it's jobs week. This is jobs week. And in the jobs week, we get three reports. Typically speaking, the first report that comes out is something called ADP. ADP is generally speaking private payrolls. ADP report is interesting because historically it has been a leading indicator for what will come on Friday. However, recently the ADP report has been underreporting. So it has been it's been off by quite a bit. But that said, ADP report's still important. It did come out on Wednesday. Expectations were 150,000. They came in low at 140,000. So a miss to the downside. Again, you have to remember where we are.
Right.
We are in an economy that is waiting for the Fed to cut. If the jobs market is hot, the Fed is not only not going to cut, but could go higher. So this is a time where we want the numbers to be soft, if that is what you want. If you want a rate cut, you want them to be soft. So on Wednesday, ADP, they came in slightly weak, but not horrible. The economy is not rolling off a cliff per the ADP report. The second report is called the JOLTS report. The JOLTS report, historically speaking, hasn't really been that interesting. However, during the pandemic, the pandemic highlighted all these job openings, getting over 10 million for several months in a row. We were seeing quit rates at record levels. We were seeing wage increases for new hires and quits. It became very important. What happened in JOLTS report this week? Well, the JOLTS report's not only not over 10 million, it's not over 9 million, it's now under 8.9 million. So I think it was 8.86, something like that. And more importantly, the quit rate is back to normal. It's not accelerating. Wages are increasing, but at a slower rate. So net, two of the three reports are in, and they are softer than expected. Now let's talk about Friday. Friday's number could change everything. It is my understanding that as of right now, the expectations for Friday are for the report to show that February had 198,000 job growth. So let's play this out. 198,000 expected. If we come in at like 225 or above, guess what happens? That's indication that the economy is running hotter than expected. It not only means the Fed is on pause longer, it may bring to bear rate increases, not decreases, and undoubtedly we would see the 10-year note rise and we would see mortgage rates rise on top of that if it
Yep.
comes in hot. The reverse is true. If it comes in weaker than expected, below the expectations, and the unemployment rate doesn't explode higher, it will give us reason that the Fed could cut. So tomorrow's number is important. We will know it at 5:30 a.m. Pacific, I believe, is when the report comes out. So yeah, it's an important number, but that's where we are as of Thursday afternoon.
Very interesting. And again, we've said this in past shows, especially over the last 6 months. The jobs reports are really going to matter now that we're in this pause of kind of what happens next. Is that pretty accurate?
No, absolutely. And just because we're doing this on Thursday, we also get the weekly unemployment claims. They were expected to come in at 215. They came in at 217. We are definitely, trending below 220 for quite a while. And I don't think the Fed gets concerned unless that number explodes to over 300, perhaps 325,000. So at least on a weekly level, the unemployment claims is not exploding higher either.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I want to encourage everybody, stay at the very end because I've got a great question for Michael I'm going to ask, and I'll even seed it a little bit. I have a lot of people that have been talking, saying, well, it's an election year, so this is just going to be a great economy. It's going to be stable and all of this. And I'm like, I don't know that you can't count on that It's not as if an election year. We're going to talk more about that at the end, but let's continue. Rates, 30-year mortgage rates under 7%.
Wow.
I was very like, okay, what happened? Why did rates drop below that mental emotional threshold of 7%?
Dude, you caught this is a concern for me. I mean, if you watched me the last couple of weeks, I was hopeful that rates would stay above 7, frankly, all year. I didn't think it was
Yep.
possible, but I thought we might get to the summer with rates above 7,
Yep.
already below 7. Basically, what this is telling you is the market thinks the Fed is done, so they're not rising. We're seeing a collapse in that spread that you and I have talked about for months, if not a year. And the market's betting that the Fed will cut earlier rather than later. So yeah, rates are under 7. And again, we're on the cusp of the spring selling season. 7% is a psychological number, 7 bad, 6 good. So the spring selling season, Ty, could get interesting.
Yep. I was in a real estate office yesterday talking with I was just passing through, talking with a group of realtors. They talked about a property in the Bay Area in Contra Costa County, a property that was listed for 499, and they said it had like 35 offers on it and basically jumped up six figures. And they told me the number, but I don't want to disclose it because I'm sure
No,
it's
it's
still in play. But
yeah.
it's just like that kind of 35 offers. And then on top of it, this was the beauty. It was a great group of realtors. They were setting up with excitement that, rates are coming down. They were actually setting up for a home buyer seminar. They were literally getting set up as I was kind of
Yeah.
passing through. And I'm like, this is an interesting time, man. Pretty wild.
Yeah. And again, the consumer, I've studied them for 30 years. And consumers move in waves.
Yep.
And I think we are on the cusp of what could be unhealthy. What do I mean by that? We've already talked about the psychological bar of 7, right?
Yep.
Above and below. But here's the deal. I have learned over the decades that consumers, they can hold back for a little while, but at some point they get fed up,
Yep.
fed up, and they go, damn it, I'm just going to buy. And I'm afraid that this spring selling season, which some of these people have been trying to buy for 2 years,
Right.
just might be the I give up, I'm pissed off, I'm going to buy regardless. And then you get 6-figure over asking.
Well, the wild part too, and we'll talk about this a little more at the end, but the wild part is that the Crash Bros have been praying that kind of psychology of what you just described could create a small bubble, not a
Oh, no,
complete
no.
market crash, but definitely a bubble where people overpay. Why have a $5,500 mortgage payment on a house you could rent for 2,800 or
Yeah,
three
it
thousand?
could be bad. This
Right.
again, I've been clear over the years. One of my greatest fears is the market gets so unhealthy, I sell everything.
Yep.
I've said that repeatedly.
Yep.
And this spring selling season could be the bananas behavior that
Right.
drives me really close to going, you know what, Olivia? We might want to sell a couple of houses. We're not
Yeah.
there today, but I
Yeah.
fear if enough consumers jump in and there's no supply.
Yep. Right. Could be a little micro bubble. We'll see. Time will tell, folks. You want to subscribe to this station? I'm telling you, this is the best real estate news out there in the country. I love it. What's the puppy's name?
Sunny. This is sunny for everybody.
Sunny. I love it. I love it. Welcome to the show, Sunny. So let's continue. Anything else on the jobs report? The two of the three job reports are Friday.
No, tomorrow's the big one. If it
Got
comes
it.
in at 225 and above, watch out. Comes below 175, watch out. It's yeah, we're just gonna
Let's
watch.
see.
Tomorrow's important. Yep.
Tomorrow's important. Let's continue. Vegas real estate. I know you're in that market now. You bought a home. Let's talk about Vegas real estate. What do you see this week?
Yeah, so shout out Brian Lebo. This data comes from him. He's a friend of mine. He was my agent on my home in Henderson. So great guy. He does a monthly report and he's getting a lot of heat. A lot of the Crash Bros and their followers are attacking him, and he's just reporting the facts.
Yep.
The facts are in Las Vegas, Nevada, for the month of February, home prices jumped 15 grand. Median home price jumped 50. Now, how can that happen? No supply, more and more demand.
Yep.
You add on top of that rates going below 7, no supply. I am afraid for what happens.
Yep.
That's and again, Beth Traverso, top 1% agent, Seattle, talked about February on top of January, up 14% in a freaking high ticket market. It's getting pretty wild out there.
Very wild for sure. Let's talk about active inventory. What did you see this week?
This is the key, folks. Over the years, we have seen markets like Austin, Texas take a hit. We saw Phoenix take a hit and come back. We are now seeing Southwest Florida take a hit. Watch active inventory in your metro. That's the key. And what I would really tell you the key is your inventory back to 2019 levels? If it is, you could be in for some price discovery. If it's 30, 40, 50% below 2019, you got a broken housing market. It is very simple. Watch active inventory.
So good. It's interesting. I have an appointment this afternoon and it's in a market, the general market, the city is red hot, low inventory, multiple offers, but it's this little micro neighborhood where there's houses that are sitting on the market for 30 and 45 days. And it's such a weird, and what it is, it's old aged assets and
Yeah.
tired inventory, properties that are not turnkey. And so it's a very interesting dynamic, though, that you've got to really pay attention. Active inventory is so important looking at the supply versus the demand. So
Know your buy box, people. It's step one. Get a buy box, look at it every day. You could learn it like Ty and then take advantage.
I love it. I love it. By the way, he has a course.
Yeah, it's
He's got
okay.
lots of resources on the onerentalatatime.com page. Just saying for people that want to know. Real quick, let's keep going. Jerome Powell, Fed speak. What did you see? What did they talk about this week?
Yeah, so Jerome Powell's testifying. I think he does it twice a year in front of Congress. The Democrats want him to do this, the Republicans want him to do that. It's so clear to see the partisanship. But basically, what Jerome Powell is saying is not my job. He's saying my job is full employment, stable prices. We're not there yet. And also, what I think is important about Powell, in my opinion, is Powell is already rich. He doesn't need money. Powell is not interested in getting renominated. He doesn't want this job anymore. I think his term's up in about a year and a half or so. So, what does that mean? That means Powell is only, and I want to stress the word only, playing for his legacy. He would much rather be referred to as someone akin to um, Paul Volcker, who
Yep.
broke the back of inflation, than Arthur Burns, who let inflation run rampant.
Yep.
So, what does this mean? This means Powell will do anything he can to hold rates higher for longer.
Yep.
The market is wrong. The market wanted 6. The market wanted 9. The market wanted 5 cuts. Powell is talking about we be in a position to cut once this year. He's talking
Wow.
about tinkering at the edges. And I don't think the market gets it. And I don't think people really understand. Powell is not going to be influenced by the election. He is playing for his legacy. He doesn't, he's a Republican nominated by Trump that was renominated by Biden, who doesn't want the job anymore. He
Yep.
doesn't care which one gets elected. He knows he's done in 15 months. So yeah, I think Powell's going to go for it higher for longer.
Interesting. Very interesting. Well, that is good to know. And that gives, I think, a lot more certainty in terms of the direction, higher for longer, higher for longer. Even the fact that rates are dropping a little bit in the 30-year mortgage, the 10-year treasury, the bond, that we in fact are probably going to see stability unless the numbers and we get down to that lower 2% inflation and jobs cool off. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, I think what Powell's doing really, really well is he's maintaining optionality.
Okay.
He's not coming out saying, I'm going to have this job for 15 more months. I'm not cutting. He's not saying anything definitively
Yep.
because he's smart enough to know that shit can break.
Yep.
And if something breaks, he wants optionality to cut and cut fast. But yeah, I think if you gave him a batch of truth serum, you had a boy, a one-to-one conversation not recorded. I would, I think Jerome Powell would love to get to December without cutting. I think he would love that.
Very interesting. So that was actually one of our talking points, number of rate cuts. What are your thoughts
Yeah,
there? You think you mentioned the 0 to December. Is that realistic? Do we see one or two cuts? I think three was kind of where we were six
yeah,
weeks ago.
yeah. Gun to head, I'm going to call the first cut in July and the second cut in December. So I think we'll get two. Is
Two.
my guess. But again, last year, if you watched my video, I was hoping he would go all year.
Okay.
I would not be opposed to no cuts all year. But if you
Got it.
ask me, I think inflation is coming down much, much faster than the numbers report.
Yeah.
So I think he has to tinker at the edges, meaning July and December, so he doesn't get over restrictive. I think he cuts to maintain restrictiveness, not because of a nasty recession. That's where I'm at today.
I love tinkering at the edges. That is so well said. So well said. Michael, the big, big, big thing, the project in Las Vegas. Give a little tease. What are you working on? Break the
Yeah. So
news.
first and foremost, I want to give credit where credit is due. This is something that Ty and I are doing. We're doing this together. This is not a Zuber thing. This is a Ty and Zuber. We're going to try and put together a series, almost like a TV show, where there's scenes where we basically go about building a buy box in Las Vegas, Nevada. And the first couple of shows are going to be interviewing agents and talking about areas and evaluating different investment ideas because there are different ways to invest in Vegas than I did in Fresno 20 years ago. So we're already lining up a series of interviews with a lot more to come. And I'm going to try to document the process and make it a little bit of a TV show and see where it goes. And yeah, we're going to interview some people we both know and like and trust, like Joe D. He's going to be the first guy we go to, and we're going to use the team that was at the Vegas event to record it and cut it up. And yeah, I look something I haven't done is really story tell. Everything I do is live. We go through it. We have a little bit of loose organization, but it's not a story. This buying Vegas thing that Ty and I are working on, it's going to be a little more involved, a little more storytelling. So I'm both excited and a little nervous, which is probably good.
I love it. I am so excited. And folks, blow up the comments if you like this idea, if this is something you'd want to see. And really the way too that I kind of Michael and I talked about it was almost like behind the scenes, right? Behind the curtain, kind of a little like walking in the footsteps with Michael, how he does the morning and how he kind of prepares and how he prepares for the daily financial news and just how he would approach the conversation, like not scripted conversations, but just real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
How is he going to talk to realtors? How is he going to approach this? So super excited. In the comments, light it up, Michael. Also tell him you've got some new merch, bro. You're looking good. You got a fresh haircut. What's the new merch? Let's announce that too. Let's push it.
Well, so I'm wearing a hoodie. Shout out Sierra. Sierra was at the Vegas event. She does things like this. And she was gracious enough to reach out and help me with an idea I have. So one of the things I've always wanted to do is create some limited edition material. And what I'm wearing now is it's gonna be a limited edition 1 of 99 hoodie. And this you're gonna see it's on the back. It has an image that means a lot to me. Somebody drew it for me. It's basically supposed to represent me surrounded by greenhouses and red hotel. And on the front, it's gonna say limited edition, 1 of 99. And what I'm gonna do is actually on the tag inside the shirt is I'm going to number them personally as they go out. So you're number 17, you're number 2, whatever they are when they get ordered. But let me show you the image on the back. Let's try
Yeah,
this.
please. This is cool. I love it. I love it. Look at my man there. Look at that. Lots of greenhouses and a lot of red hotels, apartment buildings. I think those are the 1031 exchanges, right?
I couldn't hear
1031
you. Sorry.
exchanges.
Yeah,
1031
exactly.
exchanges to the red hotels, to the red
Exactly.
apartments.
Exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. So that was really cool. Shout out Sarah. Shout out the team that drew it for me. Um, Yeah, this is just a trial. We got a little tweaks to make. But yeah, my intention is to have some limited edition merch. And this is just the first example, one of 99.
I love it. I love it. Folks, if you got a lot of value out of today, if you like the show, if you love the show, let us know. Please blow up the comments. Let us know your thoughts about the Vegas vlog, the show that we're working on. We'd love to hear from you on that. Also, too, please subscribe, like, share. Thank you so much, Michael. Have a wonderful weekend, brother. Take care.
Take care. Thanks again.